Weapons. I don't have a clever intro. I saw a really good movie. My hair's actually looking pretty good today. Side note, my new job, I work as a dog bather in PetSmart. Yeah, plug in the company, whatever. And one of the things is the moisture in the fan out. My hair always comes back as like different like shapes. And today it's like, it's looking pretty decent. I didn't even comb the damn thing. But anyway, I saw Weapons on Thursday. It stars someone kind of put it best. It stars Josh Brolin. It stars Thanos, Wong, the Silver Surfer. I think there was like one other Marvel character in there, actor in there. The son of Obadiah Stane. Because not Ensign Elgort. Oh God, I always forget that guy's name. Give me 1 second here. Let me see. Where's his name? Where's his name? Seriously, where's his name? Like, give me the cast list here. Weapons. Anyway, yeah. Oh, there it is. Alden Ehrenreich. That's it. I knew it was an A. So yeah, it's got Julia Gardner, Ross Brolin, Benedict Wong, Alden Ehrenreich, and a couple other actors. But that's kind of like your main cast plus one or two other characters that show up in the film. And the story is what you see in the trailer, like legit. Like that's the base story. At 2:17 on this night and this day, 17 kids, boop, 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 17 kids just got up, opened their doors, and ran out of their houses into the night and were not heard from. And it's all and it was all in this one class. And it's all revolving around what is going on. What's the mystery behind it? Who, what, when, all that stuff. Like, is it supernatural? Is it scientific? Is it alien? What's going on here? And the mystery of it unfolds. And it is, I heard it put best, it's a slow burn of a movie, but it is not a slow movie. You are invested. You are following each story along. And it's like as I believe told in like a Rashomon style, where it's like the point of view of different individuals in the story. And there's like 6 or 7 different stories going on. Some are more important than others, but they all, as the story goes on, you see what was happening like in story A. Let's say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Let's say A through H. In story A, you see what was going on, how we first start with story A. Then story B, we start back where story A kind of starts, but then we follow a little bit more past story A. And then in story C, we follow a little bit more past story B. And so forth and so on until eventually one of the stories is the reveal of what's going on. And it's really, I really appreciate that, because what it does better than something like, say, what was it, The Last Duel, that one with Adam Driver, Jodie Comer, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. What it does better than that movie did, and I actually like that movie. And then that was one of Ridley Scott's more recent films that I thought was solid. But what it does, it tells the same story from 3 different points of view, 3 different times, obviously. So that's not me saying it does it 9 times. You know what I mean? It's 3 different times from 3 different points of view. But the problem is like there's not enough alterations going on there, and it's like 2 of those stories involve a rape scene. I'm like, there's no rape scene. Spoilers, there's no rape scene. And you're like, that's a spoiler. It's like, no, trust me, it's fucking not. Don't be a baby about it. I hate people. It's like, don't tell me there's a scene about people are having dinner. I gave you no context. That just happens in the movie. People eat, these things happen. But what I like about this is it actually is we're seeing the same thing being told from different perspectives, but it's very rarely are a lot of things overlapping in each story. Enough is overlapping to connect them, but it's never the exact same thing, just with different dialogue or something like that. It's a slow burn, and man, when we're dealing with the horror, because it is, I believe, classified as a horror / suspense thriller. I think that's what it's classified as. It's actually a good question. What is this classified as? Horror, I know for guaranteed it's classified as. Is it horror mystery, maybe? Is that what its genre is? I never even thought about this. Hold on, I know where to go to. Box Office Mojo. You might think that's a weird one to go to, but Box Office Mojo labels these things as they generally are. So, by the way, it is looking like Weapons is going to be the #1 film of the weekend, which that's a big surprise. I mean, not like super surprising, but it is. It looks like it's going to be like a sleeper hit. That's what it looks like, which, I mean, good for it. It's a great movie. But horror mystery, that's what it qualifies as. And yeah, that fits perfectly. I might throw a little bit of thriller action in there too. But, I mentioned in my out of the theater reaction, in the last 5 minutes, it turns kind of into a comedy, but in a tone that fits with the rest of the movie. So, yeah, and our main characters that we follow in this movie are I lost everything. Are Justine, who is the teacher, who is the head of the class that disappears. What's the actress' name? She's in Ozark. She was just Silver Surfer. Julia Gardner. Josh Brolin is also our main is one of our main characters. And there's one other character who's a main character that I won't really get into. Benedict Wong is a part of the film, but he's an important part. I wouldn't call him a main character though. Neither is Alden Ehrenreich. Neither is another character we meet. No, I would say these two are kind of our big co-leads, but there is one other character who becomes a main player later on. And it's really hard to talk about this movie without spoilers, but I'll do my best. What this film really does well is building up the mystery of what went down that night, and what is going on. Because as you see in the trailer, it's not just the kids who go missing. Like, you see people start acting just as weapons, as just even one line is, I recognize the way he was moving. He was targeted, like he was locked on, he was weaponized. Like he describes it like that, Josh Brolin. And they do a great job of kind of setting up ideas of what's going on without really revealing it. Like, if I were to rewatch this movie, you would not realize some things are like really telegraphing it without really knowing it. And some things are subtle. And I like the fact that you really are trying to figure out. Now, that being said, if I were to get into, not a complaint, just the way I interpreted the film, I will admit that because there was already theories going on in my head, and there's already theories online, I will say there's a lot of theories. A couple of them are probably in the right, but they have twists on them. And I will admit, like, I didn't completely call it at first until we started to get some reveals in other stories. And then when we get to the big reveal, I'm like, okay, yeah, I kind of pieced this together, but not entirely. Like, there is levels on that. There's layers on that. So that, and all the acting is superb. I like the fact too that no one is evil in this film, but no one's a saint in this film either. Justine, Julia Gardner's character, she's a good person. But she has a past, and she can kind of be an asshole and be kind of bullheaded at points. She actually does some things. I'm like, wow, you're justifying doing something very bad at the moment, aren't you? I love Josh Brolin in anything. Man, I'm like, what is Josh Brolin in? Like 50-something? 50, 60-something or other? Like, dude looks good for his age, man. Like, he still looks like a guy I wouldn't want to fuck with. 57? I wouldn't want to screw with Josh Brolin. You kidding me? And so, but yeah, you buy his. He's one of the parents. You see this in the trailer. That's not a spoiler. He's one of the parents of one of the kids missing, and you buy the confusion and the anger and what he's trying to do to figure it out, and the fact that he's, look, I can't speak. I'm not a parent, but if my kid did disappear at some point, and like in this circumstance, I would at least, be wondering why it's her classroom, only her classroom that went. I would try, like, my brain does try to be rational about things and like try to look at all sides, but look, again, I don't have a child I care for, so I can't speak to the mindset of a parent, sadly. And I mean, they even, like, Wong, who's and I like how I can just call him Wong because that's his actual name. Wong even says to Justine at one point in the movie, it's like, you're not a parent, so while you do understand, you do feel the loss, you don't understand it from their perspective. Like, she at one point say, I'm feeling this loss just as much as you do. I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, no, you don't. Like, I mean, yeah, you feel the loss. You want answers too, but do not try to put yourself in a parent's shoes. Like, do not do that. Like, and I like the fact that she is kind of a little self-centered in some ways, admittedly, but not in a way that makes her an evil person. Same with Josh Brolin. Ben DeWong's a good guy. Same with a lot of people in this film. Now, in terms of the reveal, obviously I'm not going to spoil anything about that. First off, in terms of the horror, they really make it more. There's definitely scares, and there's some scenes where I squirmed in my seat going, oh. There's a scene near the end in the kitchen, and involving two people. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Like, I'll put it like this: when the act of self-defense happens, I'm just watching and it's like, like, oh, no. So yeah, but like, more than anything, it's actually just the more underlying dread. Someone put it best. It acts more like Smile, which I never actually saw Smile, but if this is how Smile works, then this is how it works. Where it's leaning more on the creep and the atmosphere of it, and the dread that it's creating, more than actual horror scares. That said, there are horror scares in here, and they work effectively. And it's also it is an R-rated movie, to be very clear. There is some gore in this film. Definitely some gore. Now, with that being said, it does end abruptly, but it does feel like kind of like how the movie should end. And it is a satisfying ending too. Like, when the resolution happens, you're like, yeah, that felt good to watch. Now, that being said, the one thing that it took me a little bit to kind of grasp what was going on here after the fact, I had to think on it, is that we understand because in any storytelling, there's the who, what, when, where, why, and how. We understand the who/what. Those fall into the same category, so as to not spoil anything, that what's going on or /who might be involved, whatever. We understand that. We understand the when. We understand the where. We understand the how. The why was a little. The why I had to give enough of an explanation on the why, just barely enough to kind of make you understand why it's happening. But I would have maybe just liked one more sentence, literally just a sentence of dialogue to explain why the events needed to happen, what it's, I guess there's a little bit of what's the benefit of doing it for the parties involved, supernatural, scientific, alien, or otherwise. So yeah, I guess I would have liked just a little, like a sentence of dialogue. And again, there is kind of a sentence of dialogue that can make you understand, can kind of lead you to the explanation. I just would have liked maybe one more sentence tacked on to make me understand, okay, that is what's happening, right? Just to clarify, that's what's happening, right? Because I'm like, I think that's what they're doing, and I think that's what's going on here. I just need to be sure. Otherwise, though, I have no complaints about this movie. I'm openly not a huge horror movie fan, but I like horror movies when they're done right and they're effective. I was so on the fence with Woman in the Yard for a little bit. I'm like, I think I like this. Then I'm like, I don't like anything. Then I fell onto that. Unfortunately, that third act just killed Woman in the Yard for me. But I'm like, up until then, I'm like, this is a decent little film. I was disappointed with The Woman, but didn't mind it. I really liked Nosferatu from last year. I've seen other horror movies. I don't know if I've seen other horror movies this year. That's a good question. Have I seen other horror movies this year? What else have I seen? You know what? Give me 1 second. What else have I watched this year? Let's find out. Because yeah, I'm just trying to think in terms of horror movies. Have I seen anything else this year? It's a very good question that I don't have an immediate answer to. This might be like the first legit horror movie I've watched this year. Again, Sinners. I got to count Sinners, I guess, because it is a horror movie. I'm like, how did I forget Sinners? I think Sinners is still the best movie of the year to me. This though is probably gonna, unless the remainder of the year just gonna throw banger after banger after banger after banger. And be fair, this is a very unique type of film. It's gonna be a hard year to beat. That's for certain. In terms of movies, this is a damn good year for movies so far. Like, even though Marvel isn't doing well, both Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four were fantastic. We got Sinners, one of the best films of the year. We got Mission Impossible, great action. Lilo and Stitch was very lovely. Ballerina was fun. Superman's great. Anything else I can think of? Just like a good movie off the top of my head. Can't think of anything else at the moment, but still, like, yeah, it's damn, yeah. It's a good time. We're having a good time. It's a good year. It's been a good year for movies. Next we got Nobody 2, so I'll definitely be there. I will try to see Sketch, by the way. That recently came out from Angel Studios. I'll probably see that. Try to see that on Monday. I got Monday off. Let's see here. But I'm trying to think of all the trailers I got. Didn't get Nobody 2. Let's see here. What did we get? Caught Stealing. I'm looking forward to that, actually. It looks like a lot of fun. It's Austin Butler. That's what it is. Austin Butler, Matt Smith. I know Liv Schreiber and Vincent D'Onofrio are playing rabbi, like gangsters in there. Did we get Conjuring Last Ride trailer? I don't think we got that trailer. Let's see. What else did we get? Didn't get the new Him trailer, though I did watch the new Him trailer. One Battle After Another. Didn't get that one again. Nope. Didn't get Abby's Dollhouse. I got that attached to Bad Guys 2 earlier this week. Didn't get Strangers 2, Chapter 2. Why didn't we? That title doesn't work because I believe there was already a sequel to The Strangers, so it's like Chapter 1. Whatever. Roofman? Was that it? I think I do remember us getting the trailer for Roofman, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, I think we got that. I know we got the Mortal Kombat R-rated trailer, which I was damn good to see that. Regretting You? No. Regretting You. I think that was another one. We got that drop. Yeah, where Dave Franco and a few. I think is Alison Brie again? No, that's because I think that's his wife, if I'm not mistaken. No, we didn't get the Roofman, but I am looking forward to watching the Roofman. That looks actually like a kind of a fun movie. It's actually based on a true story too, about a guy who broke out and hid in a Toys R Us for 6 months. So that sounds fun. Man, yeah, the amount of what we got is kind of limited, although I didn't write it down, and it was Thursday we got these, so all right, yeah, I can't find anything else that I know. Oh, now you see me, now you don't. We got that trailer again, I think. Though that could have also been attached to, no, that was attached to, I take that back, that was attached to Bad Guys 2. Regardless, yeah, Weapons. If you haven't seen it, go check it out, especially if you like horror, mystery, suspense kind of stuff. Till then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you, and I'll see you for the next one.